Welcome back to Soccer Cards United. You're listening to episode 288 of the greatest soccer card podcast in the world. My name is Jason. That's Enzo. Hello, Enzo. What's on the show today?
Hello, Jason. Today, the Club World Cup Prizm is almost released. We're almost there. We're reviewing some big auction results. And, Jason, the listeners have chimed in and they have some thoughts, Jason, about Lamine Yamal.
Very exciting. Let's hear the music. Okay, Enzo, we're going to start off today with Panini Prizm Club World Cup. You may remember the Club World Cup was a competition from a few months ago, and we first looked at this several months ago, I think, before the competition, and it's still unreleased, been pushed back several times, and after this week been talked about as undetermined date, it now has a new release date of the 24th of September for Hobby. So people will have seen, I imagine, the first off the line dropped last week while we were off. So that sold out at $538, I believe. Did not have an exclusive one of one. So there was no Black Shimmer one of one, as is common in first off the line prisms. So that was tough. Obviously, yeah.
No, I don't like that. I just, not to self-plug, but I've been doing my breaks, Jason, back on Whatnot for Atlantic Collectibles, and I've been opening 24-25 Premier League International Select. And that doesn't have 1-of-1s in it either. The lowest you can get is a gold wave to 10. You can't get all 5s or 1-of-1s, which is, it's terrible, right? It's like you want that big hit. So for first off the line to not have a Black Shimmer is disappointing.
Yeah, I think you can probably still get like Hobby one or regular Black 1-of-1s, but you can't. There's no exclusive 1-of-1 chase, which obviously is a big part of the value proposition for first off the line. And there was some people, now I think this is probably a little bit exaggerated, but there was some people kind of suggesting that maybe people were confused about what exactly this product was. They just see World Cup first off the line and just kind of buy it, because it did. If you look at the value proposition for the product, $538 a box is way too high.
People love blue shimmers though.
People love blue shimmers, and who can blame them? Separately to that, so first off the line came out, and generally, if first off the line comes out, you expect Hobby to come out within maybe a week of that, but that hasn't materialized. What has appeared are mega boxes. So there are mega boxes in hand all over the United States. So you can see they're selling from all sorts of places: Illinois, California, New York, Pennsylvania, all over the great United States.
Tennessee.
And they're generally selling for about $70 a box. So yeah, which again, so that I would say this is a flawed release strategy.
Definitely.
For first off the line to come out, and then the megas weren't, they just kind of, I think, shipped to hobby stores and wherever else. And so people ended up with them and just kind of rolled them out. Because again, there's no kind of like big release day.
I mean, with the tournament over, I'd say a lot of people have fatigue before it even dropped, to be honest.
Yeah.
And people are like, right, finally it's here. I'm just going to start selling this because surely I'm allowed now at this stage.
Yes. How could I not be? So if we just have a look at the front of a mega box there, 60 total cards, 10 cards per pack, 6 packs per box, and you can find some autographs. So there you go. 2 Hobby mega box exclusive glitter parallels per box on average.
So I suppose like soccer Prizm under the FIFA obviously is Club World Club license, but generally, if you're a little bit less educated, you're like soccer, FIFA, Prizm, let's go.
Yeah, it looks, it does say the words World Cup and Prizm and FIFA are on there. So you're kind of like this, and there are a few different reasons why this product may or may not be successful in the long term.
Jason, let's say 2 numbered Prizms in a box of in a mega box.
Let me double check. Where are we? Here we are.
Sorry, I meant the sales sheet there at the end.
Here,
bottom left.
2 numbered Prizms in a mega. Yeah,
that's not bad.
That's not bad at all. And 2 SP, apparently SP glitter parallels as well, unnumbered.
It says 8 glitter there. Look, 8 glitter prisms.
8 glitter prisms, but two Hobby mega box exclusive glitter. Oh, okay. So there's
maybe they're numbered. 2 glitter. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows?
We'll find out soon.
Yeah. So the megas do have kabooms in them. So we saw Takote MX here was doing a 30-box break of Panini World Cup, Club World Cup, and hit this Maradona Kaboom. And so Enzo, I know you're somewhat of a Kaboom design critic, or it was a kind of an ongoing history on this show of critiquing the Kaboom designs. This is what you might call a flat Kaboom. Sort of an old-fashioned Kaboom, maybe. There's the kind of 2013, 2014 Generation 1 Kaboom vibe here. What do you think of this Maradona Boca Juniors? But I will say, just before we start, it is cool that it's Boca Juniors.
100%. And it makes sense. It's obviously Boca Juniors, probably Club World Cup. You get creative there, you do. But I'll say this: I don't hate the non kind of kaboomy, whatever you want to call it, that texture that they have. It is a bit sad that the sales sheet kind of showed it that way with the Cole Palmer. So hopefully
the Cole Palmer looked like a very modern Kaboom, kind of leaping off the card.
So it's a bit funky. I feel like they're always kind of experimenting with soccer, which is a little bit sad. But I don't hate it, because I do think the full color could look really, really, really good with that kind of pure bleed black background. And the greens and the golds, which of course are in here, so it could actually look really good on gold. My biggest issue with it, Jason, is the seeming use this year, and this isn't just soccer, it goes across, the seeming use of maybe AI to create the Kaboom images. Even though, again, we take the image from a real game, people have found that game's image, so they have taken it, but I think they're just using ChatGPT or similar to cartoonify it a little bit for their Kaboom style. And famously, this is known kind of because ChatGPT can't do hands.
And the
hands, there was a Caitlin Clark, there's a 1-on-1 green Kaboom. I don't know if it's still live on Golden, but there was a 1-on-1 green Kaboom for Caitlin Clark. All of those Kabooms, the green is just on Golden, but her hand is messed up in that. And then here we have Diego Maradona's hand is messed up. And there was another Kaboom I seen, Jason, I don't know if you have it there, but there was another one pulled from this product, and the hand was also messed up. So we
can have a look at it. Dusan Vlahovic's hand now in a minute.
Perfect. But I don't hate the pure background, especially with it being more of an older nod to the original Kabooms.
I actually think I agree with you. I don't mind. Like, it's not as if I'm absolutely in love with the modern Kabooms. I think it's nice to have kind of a throwback Kaboom design. The hand thing is like, it's one of those things where it's like, whether or not it is AI in the current climate, it's too risky to leave the hand like that. It's like, okay, even if somebody would say, no, that's not AI, it's like kind of like a cartoon hand design. It's like, right, but surely you've heard of the fact that AI can't do hands. And like, it's just, you're leaving yourself, it's either careless or it is done with AI, in which case, what exactly are we paying for? Why is it selling out at $583 first off the line? So yeah, let's have a look at Dusan Vlahovic. Because this is actually currently at auction. So they got very creative here with the Dusan Vlahovic, because if we look at Vlahovic, he has one hand off the card.
But they did that with Maradona as well.
Maradona as well, yeah. And then this, we'll zoom into the hand here. That looks like three fingers on a thumb.
Yeah, 3 fingers on a thumb, and just mangled. It is by the way, that's a great image. Just the hand is ruining it.
Yeah.
And I don't think like that's like I actually. Oh, look at the Serie A logo.
Yes, I just noticed that.
That is AI. This, as far as I'm concerned, confirmed AI, because that's what AI does. I've played around with AI, Jason. I often scrap it. That's the thing. When something like that comes out, I go, "Oh, that's not going to work," as opposed to right.
Yeah.
That's I would say 100% AI.
Because obviously the hand, he has kind of like a Simpsons hand, and then that is 100% the Serie A
AI generated logo.
And if you were to tell ChatGPT to show you a picture of Dusan Vlahovic celebrating a goal, it'd be like, oh, Dusan Vlahovic is a football player that plays for Juventus in Serie A. I'll put the Serie A logo on the sleeve.
No, but these are coming from real images. I think the actual images are sent into ChatGPT. Make this in this Kaboom style. Here's some examples of Kaboom style, and just they've done a great. In fairness, ChatGPT has done a fantastic job. Jason, look at the Adidas lines there on the shoulder. Look at the top line.
Yes.
That's not the designer's decision. That's AI not really knowing that's 3 straight lines. So they just kind of squiggled it. That's AI. 100%. I'll confirm. Don't, sue me in court, but that's AI.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. Like, if you're on a shoestring budget, that's an incredible rendition of a Kaboom. Like, if you're kind of like, I've had to fire all of my designers and graphic team because Topps have taken all my licenses. So, but we're going to keep it going. That's actually perfectly fine, but I still think Panini have enough juice in the tank to
No, Panini are a $1 billion corporation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not. It's a not great, And I think the funny thing is, we're going to see signs of AI all over all of them. I'm 100% sure.
Yeah, and just to say, I actually don't think. I think even if Panini were doing well, I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see more and more AI elements come into card design in general, even in some companies that are making a huge amount of money.
I agree.
And can well afford to do everything manually and pay their artists and designers.
You can create that card in 2 minutes, or you can have someone, on a full-time salary creating them and other,
But then, as I say, it does come down to what are we paying for?
No, that's that. To be honest, the Adidas line is actually the thing that's annoying me the most there.
Yeah.
That's bad.
I mean, yeah.
It is also beautiful, by the way. It's beautiful. If it was done right, it's beautiful. That's a great image. Better than we've had in soccer recently, to be honest. But the AI elements there are screaming.
Hang on a second. That's the Scudetto? When did Juventus last win the league?
What do you mean the Scudetto?
The Italian.
That's the Coppa Italia, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, that's the Coppa Italia. The Scudetto is the Italian.
It's the crest. Yeah. So what's the Coppa? When did Juventus win the Coppa Italia?
No, that's a question.
I guess I have the same question.
Yeah, it's the same thing. But they would have Coppa Italia.
Maybe they
might have done final. What was it? 2020? What did we?
2024.
2024. Let me have a gander.
Yeah, they won in 2023-24. That's all right.
Yeah, there you go. Dusan Vlahovic got the goal. That could be. It's probably not from it because it's FIFA, but who knows if it is or isn't. But yeah, that's it.
But did he wear? So I don't know. This is very confusing.
Would they have that on in the Club World Cup? Maybe, but I'm not sure. But maybe. Let me try Juventus Club World Cup.
This is we've entered into classic soccer territory very quickly here.
Yeah, they did. But did they have that jersey? Can you show me the Dusan Vlahovic again?
Yes, I can.
Is Vlahovic even there? Is that even from that year? What are we talking about? Were they even in it this year? Because it's like it does it. Where is it? Oh yeah, it's the same kit, although the sponsor is not there. I don't know.
So they were wearing their 23-24, the 24-25 kit because it was during the 24-25 season.
No.
So this is then presumably it's a picture from a Serie A match, and because Panini have the Serie A license, they've just kept the crest on.
Yeah, because think about it, it's Serie A. You shouldn't have the Serie A license because they had the Club World Cup badge during the Club World Cup where the Serie A license is.
Yeah, but the images aren't from the Club World Cup.
No, I don't believe they are.
So
it's basically a complete mess. From a licensing point of view, I don't know what is happening there. Now, in fairness, they have the Serie A license, so maybe they're allowed to do what they want to do. But in the Club World Cup, you wouldn't have a Serie A license on your shoulder. Same way, if you're in the World Cup, it wouldn't say Cup America on your arm. It would say,
Yeah, because if there are Kabooms in World Cup Prizm, they're not from that World Cup either. So you have to just airbrush it.
Yeah, the Serie A logo shouldn't be there. But I honestly believe the designer that did this probably didn't even know because they didn't create the Serie A logo. AI did. So I would imagine they didn't even know that was a Serie A logo.
Okay, much to
you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying. Well, I don't know. I'm confused.
I thought that was a shirt sponsor, and it looks great. And let's go.
So are you? So okay. So talk me through this. So are you imagining the process is somebody's picking the image, or you think AI is picking the image?
There's a chance someone says, "Can you?" There's a chance instead of supplying an image, they might say, "Can you take an image of Dusan Vlahovic in the Juventus jersey and show me him celebrating?" And AI will probably take it from a real game, and then do that. I would say whoever done that and then approved it potentially didn't know that was the Serie A logo because you shouldn't have. There's 2 licenses. It's crazy. This is the FIFA Club World Cup, but the Serie A logo is on display. That's crazy. Can't have that.
Yeah, because I'm sure if we saw,
is there any base cards on eBay? If there's base cards on eBay, we might. Because again, in fairness, the licensing, because they are representing Serie A, but I still don't like in the real tournament they had a Club World Cup logo. Prizm. Because I want to see, does anyone else?
Okay, hang on. I have some. Look at this.
There's a David.
So if we look at
that's very good. That looks beautiful.
Cole Palmer here.
Yeah.
Cole Palmer's arm. You can just about see the Premier League license.
That is
or the Premier League.
I don't think you can do that. Maybe clearly you can. I suppose.
There's. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you can.
Some of these club, I'm seeing the glitters and stuff. I'm seeing them online, and they actually there's a gold glitter Cavani here for Boca Juniors, and it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Right, here is Fede Valverde, but you don't see La Liga logo, but obviously it's from La Liga.
Yeah. I'm saying you can see Kevin De Bruyne's Premier League captain's armband is definitely in the concept art, but again, that could be different from the final card. Oy.
Like surely if it wasn't possible, then they would be not sued the bids, but the equivalent of sued the bids. Here's a Phil Foden. Here's a Phil Foden on the base mojo. Let's have a look.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, I have a Luka Modric confirmed La Liga.
Confirmed La Liga.
Yeah, confirmed La Liga.
Do you know what? The Premier League one fascinates me the most. Oh, but they had the Premier League license at that point, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Right. Listen,
that's not. But licenses don't like.
They don't let that happen. Surely not.
No. Like if you were making a Marvel product and you also had the DC license and you put Batman in the Marvel product, they wouldn't just say, "Well, look, I have the DC license as well." So,
Chelsea Club World Cup because they won it. Let me have a look here. There should be images of them and the Donald Trump in there. It's brilliant. Yeah, they don't have the Premier League logo on them because you're at the Club World Cup representing the Premier League, but no, it's the Club World Cup logo. That's the logo on the kit. It's crazy to have a product that doesn't have that logo on the kit, but I guess that does happen in World Cup Prizm, doesn't it? But then,
yeah, it does. Yeah,
Eminence had the Qatar logo was all over Eminence. Prizm.
Not on the jerseys, no.
It was an Eminence. Well, it was in Prizm. Yeah, they got it in Prizm. So I think they've just made a grave error here. This is probably why it was delayed so much. They're like, we're after making all this. Please, we fucked up on the let us get away with it. They probably have to get approval from La Liga, approval from Serie A, approval from the Premier League. But Messi's World Cup Prizm has the Qatar logo on his shoulder. I don't know if I do think that image though is from like a qualifier or something. Do you know? Because I think the qualifiers have the logos.
Yeah, that
wasn't Argentina's World Cup jersey. Yeah, but like, if you look at Messi, like that's not Argentina's jersey in the World Cup. That was the previous.
Is that a Copa America?
It was, yeah, but did they not do that actually? Was that not a Copa America game and they actually airbrushed it and put the right logo over it?
I think that's what's happened here. Yeah,
but they didn't do that with Club World Cup, so
no,
it's a bit of a freaking mess.
But basically, like we've let ourselves kind of around the world there on the Serie A logo, partially because the hand thing has introduced so much doubt.
Yeah, you're questioning everything.
Now you're questioning everything.
That's a bit mad though.
Yeah. So speaking of licensing, let's have a look at Messi.
Surely you can. Oh, Messi's unlicensed, isn't he?
Messi's completely unlicensed.
But surely there's no like MLS logo.
There's nothing. It's just a
there is
pink
nothing.
pajamas.
Messi Club.
So people can see here it's just a pink t-shirt, it's airbrush. We've seen this in Topps Euro sets. It's standard enough. I believe this was wide. They just didn't have the MLS license or any of the images or any of the kits approved. So Topps agreement with the MLS is obviously ironclad.
Yeah. Very, very iron. But in fairness, as we said, La Liga, Serie A, and Premier League at the time of this coming out, technically they had it.
They did have it, yeah.
So maybe they were able to kind of collaborate and be fine with it. But I don't know. And I feel like they have almost every other soccer license realistically for stickers, not for cards. When you're doing Liga Brazil or you're doing the Argentinian League. League 1, if anyone was in there.
Wydad from where Wydad from? Tunisia? Is that right? Could be.
No idea.
Unsure.
But not what you want to be saying anyway.
Not really what you want to be saying, no. But then, so I was preparing to talk about all this stuff, and then I was looking at what Topps did. Topps produced, people see this card for Argentina, under the Argentina license, the AFA license, which they've done products under. This is Lionel Messi says goodbye to Argentina fans. And this was confusing to me as well, because obviously we know they have the Argentina license, so they can put you can see the crest there on the captain's armband, all that stuff. And they could license the image. But this is from a World Cup qualifier.
Yeah.
So maybe it's after full time, or maybe it's, I don't know, but like it's interesting that Topps, no one can quite get all the licenses here.
Yeah, the licensing is confusing, but obviously they've made it a point not to show World Cup qualifier logo,
Yes,
FIFA logos, etc. there. So obviously you can kind of get away with that.
it's just a picture of Messi.
Yeah, like that. By the way, that's how you do an unlicensed, even though it is licensed, but that's how you do that. Like the Inter Miami Messi should have been this. Do you know?
Yeah.
Don't give me a full frontal of the kit with everything brushed off. Give me that.
Yeah, just do him with Messi 10 on the back.
Yeah. What's the problem?
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So we'll see now. Hobby World Cup, Club World Cup is due out in a couple of weeks on the 24th. We'll see if it gets pushed back again. In the meantime, we will take a break and come back to talk about some auction results. Right, Enzo. So on the last podcast, which was a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about various items that were for sale in the Elite and Premier auctions of Golden and Fanatics Collect, and those auctions have since finished, and there were some big results. So looking here at Golden, which finished on the 7th of September, the biggest sale in soccer that night was the 2015-16 Panini Select striped jersey Black Prizm 101 Lionel Messi and a PSA 9, which sold for $427,000.
Can I say, and I've said this before, first of all, that's crazy. It's crazy. That was from old school. That was graded long ago. But that 2015 set, I would love PSA to run a reholdering on that. I hate that the images are called stripe shirt, or whatever. Like that should at a minimum say Panini Select home jersey Black Prizm. Do you know what I mean? It's like they didn't know anything about soccer really, and the striped jersey, and there was a few like early soccer has some weird encapsulation titles, and
like almost like they're just describing what they're kind of like saying what they see as opposed to like being able to ascribe any meaning to it.
Yeah, they didn't know what that was or what it wasn't. But in fairness, it's kind of a nice relic of kind of like, look, in 2015 soccer was so neglected. But that's a crazy card. The Cristiano Ronaldo from the same set I think it was a PSA 10 or 9, has also kind of appeared. I don't think it's for sale, but it appeared onto the market recently. People have seen it. So to see those 2015 selects black popping up and really like selling at quote unquote a good time, right? If you're someone who believed in soccer in 2015, for a long time, it felt like it was never going to go. Like I think even if you did this pre-World Cup, it wouldn't have done six figures, you know, and now it's
definitely not
420. So it is mental.
Yeah, I mean, I think Select we've seen kind of like your World Cup Prisms and all that stuff go crazy, and rookies going crazy, and on-card autographs, Messi and stuff. But the fact that we're now getting these kind of numbers on one-of-one selects is a whole other level of depth. And like obviously, Select is very powerful. Yeah.
It's a decade after the rookie season, so it's nothing to do with rookies. It's first Select, fair enough. It's a beautiful card. It's an Argentina kit. There's a lot to like about it. Yeah. But crazy,
Yeah, mad stuff. Lamine Yamal with a couple of big sales, a red rookie auto doing 85,400. A Kaboom.
I love that that's so normalized now. That is fucking
I know,
nuts.
completely. And we're literally going to talk later on about
like it's like, come on, what are we talking about? Like, oh yeah, a red doing 85. It's like, what? Yeah, 85. Like that was Messi rookies not long ago. Like it's crazy.
It's crazy, and there's a consensus out there that the Lamine Yamal market is softening, which we're going to talk about later on. But that's not happening at the top end. You know. So yeah, this PSA 10 Lamine Yamal gold. This is kind of one of the non-preferred colored golds, with the just second
non-full bleed.
Yeah. But still $80,000. So, you know,
crazy.
This is crazy stuff. But again, I think you look at the top three results there, and you go, right, Select 101, red chrome refractor rookie auto, and a
gold Kaboom.
Select gold Kaboom. Like these are strong brands, and they're well known in other parts of the hobby.
And for the longest time, we just didn't have it in soccer, especially capturing rookies, etc., etc. So yeah, beautiful, but crazy.
Looking at this, Jude Bellingham, which I think we were kind of struggling to place when we were looking at this auction during the auction, we were struggling to place it. It ended up, and it's a super factor. Ended up doing it's the image variation, am I right?
Yep.
Doing $60,000, and you cannot help but feel the effects of the recent success of Lamine Yamal, of Ronaldo, of Messi, pulling Jude up.
Yeah.
Because I think you look at where he is in his hype cycle as a player, and you're feeling the soccer market there more than you're feeling like the Jude effect.
Market. Yeah, that's true.
I think there's a bit of people going like, well, if Lamine Yamal is worth this, then Jude must be worth, And what's great about it is now, when something like Lamine Yamal happens, it's like the ceiling flies up.
Yeah.
So instead of it like, well, okay, so that's actually he should at least be 25% of that. So that's maybe 15,000. That now is now 60,000, which is great to see. The sales are just
mental,
insanely healthy. I mean, that Ronaldo, that R9 we were talking about, ended up doing $40,000. It's incredible for a Dynasty 101.
Yeah, modern Dynasty. Look at Irreverence doing 44.
Yeah.
I haven't seen, Jason. Have you seen any from the Argentina Legends set, a Messi patch auto?
No, I haven't.
Keep an eye on auctions because I haven't seen one of them either. But that, because that's like a Barcelona patch auto. It is a sticker auto, but it's doing 44,000. Like, what would the Argentina do? Whoa.
You have basically just all sorts of stuff. 2017-18 Kaboom doing 27,000, PSA 10 Messi. So like there's just basically all sorts of mad results. I'm trying to see if
soccer is just
point out. It's all the Yamal and Messi, to be honest, going through it. Like there's some Ronaldo, etc. But
Neymar 101 doing 11,000.
Yeah,
it's a good and bad kind of thing.
I mean that the Neymar market does have resilience.
Yeah.
So that's good to see him kind of hanging in there, staying in there. And he might have one more go at the World Cup. There's a Nebula doing 13,000.
Wow. People underrate Neymar. Let me tell you, Neymar
100%
was unbelievable.
And I believe at the moment he's not playing, and between now and the World Cup, he's not playing on any artificial pitches. In Brazil, so that's good.
Do you remember that goal, Jason? I'll never forget it. Remember the World Cup
against Croatia? Of course I do.
Oh my god!
I thought that was it. I thought he was back.
What a moment! And then Fred absolutely. Oh my god! That's one of those kind of most heartbreaking football moments I think I've ever seen. They did it. He did it. He ran the keeper. Oh my god!
Yeah. Right. Let's have a look at Fanatics Collect over here. Hello, Ronaldo rookie. $288,000 for a PSA 10 Ronaldo Mega Cracks.
There was literally one of them on Fanatics Collect at a buy now at 70,000 for the longest time, and I kept looking at it going, I don't have 70,000, but that is surely. This is before Ronaldo's market start going, but I was like, surely, surely that is a good purchase. And then the person put it up to 80,000 after a while, and someone then took it down. Congratulations to them. But look at that one on the Ronaldo to the next of it, 81,000 for a Dynasty PSA 10. The other one did 30. Was that a PSA 10? The other one? Can you double check that?
I don't know. I have to compare these two because we're looking at 40 versus 80,000.
I think it was on page one. I think it might have been a PSA 9. Was it?
It was a PSA 8.
PSA 8. So the PSA 10 premium on Dynasty very much alive, and the auction wars that I believe are going on is also very much alive in the background as well.
Yeah.
That's
we can have a little look at these side by side,
quote unquote, different images, etc. So people are like, that looks like the same card, 2 101s, all the same, blah blah blah.
So yeah, there's your PSA 8.
In fairness, the PSA 10 does have a better patch. You're getting more of the.
Also, can I say a much better image of himself, like the kind of classic toothy smile, and a better part of the Real Madrid badge, I would say. But to do double the price is still pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's not the best image, I suppose. Yeah.
I mean, I thought that was a great price to get. If I was the seller, I'd be delighted.
Oh, on a 40,000 for that, I'd be singing. Yeah. Jason, I have a couple of Dynasty up there above my shoulder. I might
just start to think to yourself, could be more in there.
Is this a go?
But yeah, that's obviously a bit more iconic, and a PSA 10. So yeah, that's great stuff. Great to see. I love to see just like more names in there. And Haaland just scored 5 goals at an international game.
I'm obviously devastated that Italy are not top of our World Cup group, but by all accounts, it looks like Norway will be at the World Cup. Like, I know there's 4 games to go, but they are going to the World Cup, people. That's I don't think there's a shadow. I don't think there's a chance they're not. I think we are actually going to have Haaland at the 2026 World Cup, which, to be honest, I was thinking that's like super exciting and exciting for his cards. Obviously, it's like they're not going to necessarily go and win the World Cup, etc. But a strong showing in the group stage of a World Cup, Haaland getting goals, people watching him in the States. The Haaland market might be kind of... There's a sneaky play there on the Haaland market, which has softened a lot recently.
Yeah, absolutely there is. Couple of redder factors. By the way, shout out to this Messi It's a great Barca image, but doing 20 grand for a PSA 10 2023 Topps Chrome of 5.
But look at it next to the Yamal. Like, it's so funny that that is literally like a good kind of the Japanese Yamal. That one is as well from Topps Japan. It's just like, yeah, Messi and Yamal very similar. Let's go.
100%. Like their markets are tied.
Connected.
2015 Select continuing a strong run there. 26,000 for the gold Ronaldo. That's unbelievable. This I might have expected this black mosaic. I know it's only mosaic, but the Ronaldo 21-22 stuff.
But like, Jason, I think that's like a testament to where the market is. That a black mosaic, you're going 23 grand. That's low for Ronaldo. It's like what the hell? Like that's where we are. That was
we would have been like
$6 grand.
This is worth a couple of grand.
Like literally, but like genuinely, the Kaká there gone. Could not get that. No way. 16,000 101. Beautiful. Shows very strong again. Dynasty was a success. Remember, we kept saying we really didn't know what way Dynasty would or wouldn't go.
Yeah.
It was a success. The 101s really went.
Yeah, no, it's and I suppose if it's Dynasty, like when you talk about Dynasty, whether it be an F1 or whatever, it's like, yeah, it's the one. You just have to look at the 101 price because it's already it's an ultra high end set. So what you're hoping to get is a 101. But yeah, no, I'm trying to imagine if somebody came up at the Soccer Expo or something and offered me that Ronaldo black mosaic for, $15,000, I'd be like, get the fuck out.
Yeah, I can't. He's not taking it and sent it to Dan's cards, I'll have you know. He knows how to sell Ronaldo.
We're not necessarily plugging good sign.
I'll give a plug. I'd certainly
look at that one. Holy smokes.
To be honest, I think that one had sold previous but wasn't paid for, or maybe it was sold and just immediately relisted or something. But at some point I seen that at like 20 or 30,000. But
right, just to say it's a 2018 Topps Chrome Juventus Superfractor auto for Ronaldo.
I like that. Like if you think about it logically separate to the market, you're like, right, it's a Topps Chrome Superfractor of Ronaldo playing for Juventus at the time, and it's an autograph. Like that should be an expensive card because there's only one, maybe two of them in terms of released ever. Like he was only there for a few years.
Yeah.
So I don't hate that. I think that's because 2017 he was obviously at Real Madrid, and then 2019 he was at Juventus as well, and then 2020 maybe.
And a bit like
there's not many though.
A bit like what would you say, Neymar or Messi at PSG. It's like for some of us, it's like, well, Ronaldo at Juventus is sort of like a kind of an intermediate period, or not, just kind of a stop on his story.
It wasn't vintage.
But to Juventus fans, it's like Cristiano Ronaldo played for our team.
Yeah, and he scored 100 odd goals for our team. Yeah, like, we regressed as a team and we didn't win trophies, etc. But
yeah,
he was still there. Like he played. He scored against Frosinone, I believe. So,
and I think it's also one of those things where as you, if and when Juve improve and start winning again, they'll begin to like appreciate Ronaldo playing for them even more, because it'll be like they won't associate it with like, oh, when Ronaldo came, that was when all the problems started. Like if they can get back to winning ways and get a couple of leagues under the belt and all that stuff, then it's like, remember that when Ronaldo played for us, that was deadly, as opposed to like that was when the team fell apart and we never really recovered.
If you just look at like if you're trying to like invest long term, because clearly that's what's been happening with the market, is that a lot of people with a lot of money have come in with long term investing mindsets in soccer, and they've seen the potential that we've known has been there for as many years as we've been in this. You're kind of going, how many playing day Superfractor Topps Chromes do Messi and Ronaldo have? Doesn't matter what club they're playing for. How many playing day Superfractors? Because the answer is no more than 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like in terms of years. So it's kind of like, in 2018 there wasn't even that many soccer sets. Let's buy the 101 Superfractor Cristiano Ronaldo, because obviously,
I know. But it's funny because it's like, it's funny how like the relationship between like the past and the future, because it's like it's once somebody spends $85,000 or $87,000 on it, it seems obvious that it was worth $87,000. But like, it's I'd like to be up there in those rarefied airs, spending the money and then going, see everybody, it was obvious, and they were like, oh yeah, it was, Look at this this gold proof, which nobody wrote in and told us what a gold proof was.
Nobody knows.
But somebody knew, because they spent $250,000 on it. $276,000 is 101 flawless gold proof emerald, which is usually on 5, but in this case was 101
forever because of gold proof, I imagine. That's a beautiful image of Messi, and
PSA 7.
I know, but
276. Come on,
no, it is
crazy.
Mad. It's mad until it's not. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, but it's this was a good month for 2015 Messi's.
Definitely. No, absolutely incredible. Like, to be honest, like, the Yamal market is scaring me there with these types of sales, like 20,000, 25,000. It's kind of like there's too many people, or at least there's one person with too much money that is very happy at a 20,000 price point for Lamine Yamal. And it's like, he is 18. You do know that.
Yeah, and
There's
just to say as well, like, you're talking about like this Messi, because obviously the 2015, it sounds obvious, but like 2015 is the next year after 2014. So once 2014 World Cup Prizm goes crazy, then the next logical thing is to go to the following year. Like,
but don't forget, Messi has slightly awkward, but he has the 2013 on-card autos. I
know he has those, but I'm saying for
icons,
your NFL,
I know, like,
NBA, baseball collectors, they're like, what's that? I don't want to.
That's obscure, but it's still there.
It's like when you look at, you go to from 2014 into 2015, and then look at like what has Messi got in 2015. Compare that to Lamine Yamal, and what does he have in 1 year? And it's like, okay, we could be in a bit of trouble here. But I'm not trying to be like a doomsday predictor or anything. I'm just saying I agree with you that a lot of these prices.
Investors, Jason, definitely came in and they had an oh my god moment when they're like, wait a minute, the year where one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player of all time, exists, that's all he has in 2015.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's nuts. Like, what's the odds of that? Like, what's the chances that he wasn't printed the way Yamal's printed back then, and he actually went on to be great? The funniest part of it, to be honest, is that in 2015 he was already the greatest. He was
already the greatest.
That's the funniest part about, like, because we obviously weren't around in 2015 in terms of the hobby, but like, the funniest thing is all of his cards, apart from his rookie, existed when he was already in the shouts of being the greatest player of all time. This wasn't like prospecting. This was pure.
No, this is 10 years
logic.
In, like.
Crazy.
Yeah. So there's a 101 Zidane. Look at that, 101 Zidane from Dynasty. It's not a patch, just an auto.
Yeah, the non-patches were not the nicest.
No,
but still huge. It's a huge sale. 27.
Huge sale. 23,000 for it.
The Alifa having some respectable doing Yamal numbers there. A PSA 4 Alifa. Certainly, and that's a card that's like not the rarest card. You know, there's a lot of them out there on the pop report. There's a lot of them going around. But that's obviously such a rare card, so that's a nice
one. I'll just do a quick scroll. I think we're more or less
the Messi World Cup Panini Instant. Do you remember, Jason? I
know
big prediction. Panini Instants would matter someday, and sure enough, obviously, now in fairness, one of the most iconic moments of all time had to happen for them to matter. But still, it holds true.
But again, I do think though this again
fairness,
goes
30
to
grand probably isn't that high for the context.
When you look at what it is, it shows that it's not soccer collectors driving this.
Yeah,
driving
these prices because soccer collectors.
Getting attacked by a fly. Can I say, Panini really should have just made that on-card. What were they doing? Wait as many months or years as it takes to make that an on-card auto, make it a redemption, and make sure that's on-card. You would have had the card of cards.
Yeah. Okay, we can...
It's great. Like, to be honest, there's just so much. There's so much.
There's way too much. This was like a crazy...
But like soccer...
there's your...
That's very confusing.
Sorry for the listener. We're looking at a 2018 Topps Chrome Cristiano Ronaldo Super Factor Auto, which I could have sworn we just looked at.
Yeah, sold in May. I told you that popped up recently.
Oh, sold in May. Sorry, I've gone back to the previous time.
You've gone away.
Yeah.
I think we're actually. I don't even know. Yeah, that's just. Yeah, that's they're all May. Yeah. I get what's going on. Crazy. It's crazy. I don't even want to dig in deep, guys. Pay attention to the little auctions. Have your bit of fun looking at them. But this is stuff that we've not seen in a long time, and it's a very good trend because apart from the Lamine Yamal, which in fairness is prospecting at its best, which I actually don't even hate. Because we've seen enough of them to be like, you know what? A lot of people are like, I'm going to back this guy. I'm going to go big on his big cards. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
It's not blind prospecting. They've seen him do it in the Euros, do it for Barcelona. It's still risky. Don't get me wrong.
I would say in a lot of cases, they've heard of him doing it in the Euros.
No, they've heard of him doing it in the Euros. There you go, Jason. Yeah. But apart from that, it seems to be kind of smart, quote unquote, smart money, smart plays. Going into iconic sets, iconic cards, iconic players. And it's just more responsible than it was back in 2020 and 2021. And it's good. I'm interested to see how it pans out, Jason. I don't really know what's coming next.
Well, that's the beauty of the soccer hobby. That's the beauty of Soccer Cards United, because who knows what will be next after this break. All right, Enzo, let's come back with Fanatics Fest 2026, Fanatics Fest NYC 2026. This was big news broken by the team over there at Sports Card Investor. They took some time out of their busy schedule to tell us that it's going to be a busy July for the sports card hobby next year. Sources told Sports Card Investor that Fanatics Fest 2026 will take place July 16th to the 19th in New York. Now, just to say that the 19th of July is the day of the World Cup final in East Rutherford, New Jersey, so nearby. During the FIFA World Cup final, and the same weekend as the West Coast Card Show and the Dallas Card Show. It's also a week and a half before the National in 2026. While the schedule overlap with other card shows isn't ideal, having the World Cup final in town will give Fanatics Fest the opportunity to have some major soccer activations in partnership with FIFA. Fanatics Fest will expand to a 4-day show in 2026 to get more activations in. We've learned the decision to choose these dates was driven solely by the opportunities to integrate FIFA into Fanatics Fest and not to compete with the other card shows. We've also learned that in future years, Fanatics Fest is likely to return back to June to create more separation with other card shows. So Fanatics Fest coming with more football stuff, more FIFA stuff, and lining up with the World Cup final. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Fanatics are basically saying, listen, this is whatever about all these other card shows and other events. Our schedule is being dictated by the fact that the World Cup is in the USA for the first time since 1994.
Yes.
So yeah, don't want like because people are like, oh my god, the National's right next, and I think Fanatics are like, we don't even care. Like this is. We want the FIFA license.
Level of
We want the FIFA license, and more than that, like obviously they want the FIFA license, but more than that, it's like we want cards and Fanatics to be at the forefront of all news in the lead up to the World Cup final. Why would you not? We're in New York. If you're a soccer fan in New York for the final, and you're here a day before the World Cup, this is where you want to spend the eve of the thing because there's mad shit going on. I think it's like the World Cup is one of the biggest marketing opportunities, period, in any sport.
Yeah.
As we see that every single year, the impressions, the view, like everything about the World Cup is so massive.
Yeah.
That it makes complete sense to be like, we're doing this huge event that we independently, separate to a World Cup, create so many impressions, hits, and iconic moments with all the celebrities and everything else that we have going on. Why not plug into the craziness of a World Cup on home soil that's also in town in the same city that we host our venue?
Yes.
It's a no-brainer. I'm like, as a collector, separate, as someone that's already in the hobby and not from the United States, it is annoying that it's so close to National because we tend to do both events.
Yes.
So it's like, if we're going to, because we haven't spoke about it, but I'm sure we're going to go to Fanatics Fest. Like, well, maybe it's going to be a bit mental. World Cup final. I would love to be in town. Yeah, I would love to be in town for that.
For the World Cup final.
But here's the thing: I would love to be in the States for the World Cup. At which point I would be there a month earlier when it starts, because
you could do a little tour around.
If Italy or Ireland, of course, who I don't think are going to be there.
No, they won't.
I don't think
I'm officially boycotting the World Cup. Just to say.
There we go.
After Ireland's recent exploits against.
Can I say I was live breaking and I was asking, and all the Irish guys were saying 3-0, 4-1. That was the predictions, and I said, this is what I said pre-game. I said, I have a feeling this is one of the kind of watershed moments for the new Irish fans, the younglings that have not been scarred yet by Ireland. It's going to be one of those performances that just show you that your life's going to be tough supporting the Irish national team. And sure enough, that's kind of what came to pass in a much worse way than I was even expecting, to be honest. But you never know. You could have, that night in Portugal. You could have that. You could have a moment like that.
I don't want to talk about the Irish national team.
Sorry. What I'm saying is, if any of the teams I support, which are Ireland and Italy, of course, due to my nationality, if any of them are if any of them make it to the finals,
yes,
which is, even with Italy's case, it's not guaranteed. Although we did a very good job at getting closer to that point. But I'll be there at the start of the tournament because ultimately you don't necessarily expect either of those teams to be in late. So in terms of this is a separate all of this, Jason, but in terms of my summer plans, it's kind of like, if I'm in America at the start of the month, I'm not necessarily going to be at the end of the month.
But then you're going to be at the National as well.
Then I want to be at the National. So it's a bit messy from that point of view. But in closing, I think if I actually had to make a choice between the two, I'd probably obviously do Fanatics Fest pre-National, simply because the World Cup final's on.
It lines up with the World Cup. And you're a soccer guy.
I'm a soccer guy, so it's the World Cup. Like, if anything is going to stop me going to the National, it will be the World Cup itself. But yeah, the proximity of that is a bit messy because you wouldn't necessarily stay for that week and a half and then go to Chicago. I don't think that would be very
well, you might. Who knows? You might have World Cup fever. You might just be so.
World Cup fever is over at that point. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And isn't it fascinating that, like, and this is I'll end on this to let you continue, but it is funny that it's like Fanatics Fest are like, we're going to actually just adjust our show because the biggest show on earth is on during it, and we want to be involved in that. And the National is just like, every year we're in Chicago at this time. We ain't changing. We're not soccer. What's soccer? So it is that kind of.
They might not know. They might not even know.
They don't know. Or it's on in the United States, I'd say.
Because I mean, even like just in terms of the National, and we talked about this, the National and the Soccer Expo and all that kind of stuff. If the National ever wanted cover, Like in terms of like selling it to your other vendors and selling it to your board and all that. If you ever want to cover for making an exception for soccer in a certain year as an experiment, the World Cup year is perfect. You just go, look, lads, it's a World Cup year. Soccer is going to be crazy. It's going to be so hot. Let's just have a soccer section. We'll have it once every 4 years. You could just say, to start off with, whenever there's a World Cup, we're going to have soccer overrepresented at the national more than it usually is. But I think it's more likely that they'll say, you're at what? The World Championships earlier? Oh, cool.
I do think from Fanatics' point of view, it's even as much as like, oh, they want the World Cup license, they want the FIFA license. What a license that is in cards, by the way. But I think it's more than that. It's like we want to show any potential licensor what we're capable of doing, period. Yeah. And there's no better place. And we also want to grow the hobby, etc., etc. There's no better place for that amplification than... Because like, imagine if you're just a soccer fan that knows nothing about Jason, knows absolutely nothing about the hobby, knows nothing about Fanatics Fest, I've never heard of it, don't know who Michael Rubin is, right? You haven't the breeze. You're just, I just support soccer. I don't know about this.
Yeah.
Or if you're just like an American citizen that's also like, I don't know about this, but I do know the World Cup is on in, it's going to be in the MetLife Stadium. There's going to be the World Cup final.
Yes.
Like imagine going to a World Cup final and the 3 or 4 days prior to the final when you're kind of like semi-finals over, don't know what to do, have a few days.
Yeah.
There's this, is Fanatics Fest was on, because that is a crazy event by itself. So it's just like no brainer, very smart. It's
a level of
competence,
and just like you can feel like I'm not sure Panini could feel it, but I can feel it. that license, that FIFA license is going sooner or later. I really do think it. I remember speaking to Lance from Fanatics Fest and asking about FIFA and how that came about and how those conversations started, because I said Panini, obviously, and a sort of a smile crept across his face. You can go back and listen to that interview if people want. And it's clear to me from that moment and from other moments that there are strategic steps been taken to make sure that in whether it be 2030 or 2034, it'll be Fanatics Fest as an official partner, not just Fanatics Fest.
But like, imagine, for example, here's just a use case. The World Cup final in 2026 is France versus, let's say, Spain. Okay.
Yeah.
You're there the day before the final or a few days before the final, right? And you're at Fanatics Fest, and you have Thierry Henry on stage chatting to Cesc Fabregas, and they're making their predictions for the final. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
Like from a soccer fan point of view, it's like, because even Fanatics Fest, we've gone to it the 2 years it's run. We've ended last year. It's been great. It's been a good event, etc. But it is still they did a much better job second year, but it's still very much the American sports, etc., etc. But like, the fact that they're just like, oh yeah, we'll essentially tailor the next Fanatics Fest to the World Cup. It's like, it's refreshing. It's like, now we have an opportunity to have, like, everyone's going to be in town, and it's New York. So it's like, we're already in New York City. We're not even out of anyone's way. It's just, there's so much. I just applaud it. I do applaud it.
It's all there. And I think
diabolical, but it's fantastic.
You look at FIFA and you look at like you look at what FIFA want to do, and a lot of people in football would have major criticisms of what FIFA want to do, and I would join them. And Fanatics are more aligned with FIFA in terms of commercializing the game. That exact thing of like, if a journalist is going to ask Cesc Fabregas and Thierry Henry to give their predictions, let's make sure that's branded in some way. That's not just being printed in the newspaper. That's been used to sell something else. And it's like they're on the Fanatics live stage or whatever. And so that all that kind of like, when you think about like looking at FIFA and you go, oh, it's so corporate, it's so commercialized. It's like, yeah, and who else is like that? It's not Panini. No.
Why do you think, like, in terms of an actual, like, if you played out the actual licenses changing, one of the big challenges is the stickers. Like, we kind of go back to stickers because, like, ultimately that collaboration, like, I would tie that in with kind of Topps' collaboration with the MLB, right? Like, it's so long standing and successful that it's very hard to change it. And I think that, like, when Topps took over the Euros, they kind of made an absolute mess of the stickers, more so out of their hands because of the licensing problems that existed there. They had to have wash stuff. The players that were in it were kind of different, whatever. People don't play with their World Cup stickers. So I think the FIFA themselves don't play with their World Cup stickers. So I honestly think it'd be easier to get that license if you asked FIFA to split it to, like, you have a sticker license and a trading card license.
Give us the trading card license.
Leave Panini just doing their stickers. We don't want to get involved with that because that is craziness. I think you'd have more success. But ultimately, do I think the license will swap next time it's up for debate? I probably will. I can't remember if Panini are locked in until 2030 or not. But
I can't remember.
I think they are.
I mean, there is also, like, let's think about Fanatics getting the people. New listeners may not remember this, but Fanatics didn't just get the MLB license; they got it in a rival bid to Topps, and then to that crippled Topps. Then they bought Topps, having crippled them. So, what's to say Fanatics couldn't get the license from FIFA and then go to Panini and say, "Look, we now have the license. There's no reason Panini can't keep making stickers and cards." But we have the license, so would you like to do it under our umbrella? And at that point, if you're Panini, now I don't think Panini are ever going to be acquired by Fanatics. I think it's more likely that Fanatics just get the license and Topps produces stuff. But
I want more World Cup Prizm. I don't really want the Topps Chrome World Cup. I'm not going to lie. Although it could be good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just World Cup Prizm. It's different.
You could say bye bye Eminence and hello Dynasty.
That could be nice, but I don't
know.
Hello
Reverence.
Oh no! Don't do it! Don't do it to me, Jason. Oh my god! But no, it is interesting. It's kind of fun because it is such a big hobby moment. Everyone's talking about the fact that the national is so close to it, and because it's kind of weird. Like, they are totally different events. Like, they are like a different demographic. Obviously, vendors have total crossover, and there are a lot of attendees that come for cards.
Yeah,
but for the most part, they are like, I would be annoyed if I was hosting Fanatics Fest and people were like, "Oh, the national, It's like, it's different. Like, this is a different crowd. Like, fuck off."
And it's in New York the week of the World Cup final.
Yeah, like, what are you talking? I just love that they're like, it's kind of sad, but they're like the only hobby company so far that have said the World Cup is in the United States. This is an opportunity to market and grow the space and actually just take advantage of the fact that the World Cup is in. It's as though everyone else is unaware.
Yeah,
that it's on. So I applaud it for that, and I think obviously it's going to be so crazy expensive in terms of New York. It's a World Cup, everything, all summer, everything. I would love to be there in town for that. I don't think I would vend, Jason. I mean, in fact, I would not vend.
I would not want to be set up at Fanatics Fest, NYC, the week of the World Cup final.
No, especially with, like, if there's all sorts of soccer. Like, if Fabregas is on stage making his prediction, and Thierry Henry, I want to be there capturing that moment and enjoying it.
If Thierry Henry is blind ranking his France teammates,
that's right.
I
can't miss it. You can't miss it. And I certainly won't be there going, best I can do is $20 on that one.
Yeah.
Well, Thierry Henry is, as you said, Jason, blind ranking World Cup winner.
Patrick,
two. I hate that. That is such brain.
It's the worst. It's
brain rot at its finest.
This is a very, very fun one here. So Topps put this out on their Instagram. I mean, Topps FC, their new football Instagram. This was the popular long-running English soap EastEnders,
kind of a telenovela for those of you that are not.
Yes, and by the way, apologies to our Canadian and Mexican listeners. I know the World Cup is also in your countries.
I'm sorry.
And to be honest, it may end up being exclusively in your countries the way things are going.
Oh my god!
But
you're right. To be honest,
let's just have a.
In fairness, it's like that's the problem. Can I say that's a problem with it being on with the finals? Because, like, you could go on a little trip to Canada to catch the quarterfinals and then make your way down to Chicago for the national, but it just doesn't. It doesn't line up.
It doesn't quite line up. I'm going to just switch screens here so that you can hear the sound. Have you seen this clip, Enzo?
I have indeed. I was very excited.
All right. Well, I'll let the listeners hear it. Let's just switch over. Stop that screen. Share screen.
There's a rogue fly in here, and I'm trying to kill him.
Okay, so this is let's see what Top said. When the hobby makes the Albert Square is where the people live in EastEnders. Just for anyone that doesn't know, the EastEnders is one of the UK's most iconic television dramas, a long-running soap opera that's been on since 1985 and attracts an average viewership of 3.5 million viewers per episode. So, and this fella, for anyone watching the video, this is a guy called Phil Mitchell. He's a long-running character.
He's a proper geezer.
He's a proper geezer. Let's see what happens.
Please just stop. No. The football cards, Phil. The football cards. We've got to find them. Football cards? You dragged me all the way here for football cards. Rare ones. They're worth thousands. We're close. So close. Nigel, please.
So there you go. That's
That's brilliant.
From EastEnders, yeah. So they were.
Close.
This madman is leading Phil Mitchell out for a wild goose chase somewhere, and it turns out rare football cards.
There you go.
Somebody's
to be
been
honest,
browsing golden auctions.
There's not that many rare vintage UK cards, in my opinion, Jason. There's not. I don't know.
What's he looking for down there?
That's what I'm saying.
A Dixie Dean.
A Dixie Dean. That's right. That's right.
Or is he looking for? You look at like there's now you turn on Sky Sports News in the UK or Ireland, you'll see ads for the new Topps Premier League collection. So maybe
that's what
he's looking for. Yeah, a few shinies. Match tags.
Football cards.
Okay. Football cards, Phil. Rare ones.
But that, like, to be honest, since we started this podcast, like we are in such a weird zone of we're in the public eye so much.
Yeah. Yes.
It's really become just part, and we're kind of hoping it goes there and stays there.
Yeah.
As opposed to becomes
this being a sort of
kind of comes and goes.
A Tamagotchi.
Sort of did you see? Jason's obviously very sad, but did you see the South Park episode about Labubus?
I didn't see the South Park, but I would like to see the South Park episode.
I would highly recommend watching it. It's very, very topical.
Right. Okay, we're going to finish with some feedback from various listeners and followers on Instagram. And because Kenny on our last podcast commented and asked, why are Lamine Yamal market sales softening? Is his personality turning off people buying his cards? So a couple of things here. One, as we said, the high end of Lamine Yamal is still doing absolutely fine, but his lower to mid end stuff is soft at the moment. But it's also we'll see the reasons why. And his personality's had a couple of incidents of using sort of people of short stature at parties and things like that. Anyway, I thought I'll just post this on Instagram and see if anyone has any thoughts. Loads of people replied. So I'm just going to kind of start reading out replies. And Enzo, if anything sort of piques your interest, feel free to jump in. So this is why various followers of Soccer Cards United on Instagram think that Lamine Yamal's market is softening. All right, here we go. The price went up too fast. You can get all-time legends for the same price. He has signed more stickers than Haaland has. The market is flooded. Because it was a false market of people trying to pump and dump, they've made their money, says somebody.
Ooh.
I would say getting so expensive that there are genuine alternatives like your Kaká and Ronaldo 1-on-1s, that kind of stuff. I think that's a fair point. I think the oversupply of sticker autos is a fair point. I'm not the pump and dump thing. I'm not so.
You're not buying.
Not really.
Fair.
Yeah. Somebody says his personality is the reason people bought his cards in the first place, which is an interesting sort of. He would play with a bit of flair, but I don't think that's quite okay. I think it was FOMO got people into the market, propping it up at first, and then that FOMO has gone away a little bit. Somebody said, I guess it had to stop at some point, but the private life of Lamine Yamal could cause worries, to be honest. So, and I would say I agree that he's showing some problematic tendencies in his private life. I don't think necessarily the people that are buying and selling his cards I don't think the market is that finely tuned. I think it's like that could be a sort of variable in the equation, but I don't think that's like.
Can I say, the season has just started as well, so like he has over the period of hype, he hadn't been playing, and on top of that, obviously, as you said, the high end is a lot healthier than the lower end. The high end, obviously, it's like a supply demand, right? If he's not playing and there's no headlines on the pitch being made, then the demand is going to wane a little bit, and the supply of the lower end is so much bigger than obviously the high end. And then the high end is healthy because the demand doesn't have to be that big to
exactly the fewer. So that makes sense. So the lower the value of the card, the more people you need to keep the price.
You need higher demand.
Yeah. Too many people investing in his cards. People can't sell them now and are taking losses. That is a common feature of the market, is that people would have bought maybe at the end of last season. We saw there were so many people trying to sell Lamine Yamal cards to us over the summer at various shows. Yeah. So a lot of those people might have just gotten a bit tired or just gotten a bit frustrated or needed the money out of it and just all tried to dump at the same time. And then that's what happens. The supply is too high and the price goes down. Money moving to Messi and Ronaldo is one. Okay. I believe it's his personality and too many cards. Massive bubble borrowing his very best cards. So that again goes to high end is doing fine. It wasn't truly sustainable. Too many sets, too many cards. He will have a bad season this year. The money gets in his head, and then someone says he'll have a bad season this year. The money has gone to his head, and then someone else says talent, ego, and youth can be a dangerous mix. So there is starting to kind of
there's a narrative around them. Which
there's a narrative around that. Yeah,
tends to happen around black players in general. There is
It's
always
true.
like it's amplified. You know, I'm sure
Yeah.
Cole Palmer. Like, is Cole Palmer not out at gigs and stuff and et cetera, et cetera? We don't really, you just like, look at that Cole Palmer, like, that's brilliant.
It's your Phil Foden, Marcus Rashford dichotomy.
Kind of. Yeah. And not to say that he's an angel. He's not. He's running around doing all sorts. But it is that thing of, and in fairness, like he had, especially in interviews and on the pitch, he was very like, there was a lot of kind of, and it was good. He was almost like a bit of a villain. Like he'd be like, all right, let's see if they say it on the pitch, or, you know, let's see what happens here. And like, but that, you want that. That's like a fire of like, oh, I'm going to show them.
Yeah.
It's
that's what somebody else said is his personality that got people to buy him in the first place. Yeah.
I think ultimately you're looking at Yamal, it's kind of that thing of like, if you look at his cards and his market, you're like, right, it depends on what kind of season he has this year. Obviously, if he continues to look spectacular, that's obviously going to help him. But leading into a World Cup, it's like there's a very real chance Spain win it and he could be the star of it. That's obviously 100%. The ideal scenario. Yeah. But it's very, going into that tournament, the clips in the build-up to Spanish games is going to be all about him. Can he come? Mm-hmm. Can the boys? Him and Nico Williams. The two of them, can they cause havoc? Can they repeat what they did at the Euros? And it's going to be so amplified, so marketed. So I do think, despite the fact that his cards are declining on the lower end, I do think there is actually, believe it or not now, there is actually scope for upside to go back up. But yeah, it's a very complex market. But that's what you kind of get, I suppose, with players that have this much attention on them and are so young and so talented and so, you know, brash and whatever. Like this is why people invest in stuff like this. You know, I mean, you kind of need to stand out in order to be investable.
And then that will. I think what's happened is, I think it's quite a boring explanation. I mean, someone here says it's the Champions League, especially the last few rounds, are so much more visible than the Liga. Somebody says inevitable cycle and how young people collect young star players. See Mbappe, see Haaland. I remember having that conversation a long time ago, being like, this has actually already happened, and it will soften, and then it might go back up. As we said, if say Haaland goes to a World Cup and fires Norway to the quarterfinals, we'll see his market just go boom, like, you know. So I think what might happen is we're in the off season. Barca didn't play in the Club World Cup. It's the start of the season. It's, you know, XYZ. It's just the hype cycle. We're just at a down point in the hype cycle. And I think what happens is when that hype cycle goes down, people rush in with explanations.
And a lot of people who bought in already, Jason, are like, oh my God, it's free fall, because they didn't even understand anything to begin with. So they don't even know that Yamal's not playing at the moment. They're like, I haven't heard about this kid in a while. It's like, well, it's been summer.
Well, so somebody mentioned here, too many non-collectors holding his cards. So that's exactly right. What's what you're saying is someone said we're actually fall unless he hits a further level. So but that's, I don't know if that's true, but that's pointing out, like, when you get people buying in who don't necessarily understand even the rhythm of a soccer season, European soccer season, or what kind of schedule to expect. A lot of dollars were non-soccer collectors. The NFL is now back, so that's we always try and explain things inside our own market. But somebody's pointed out here that the world is continuing around it. Okay, it was way over the top. Still is. Needs to come back closer to earth. 3 things: overpopulation of cards, folks selling to get into Messi and CR7, and his distasteful antics. He has too many cards. So, I mean, just interesting to find out, because what I found most interesting about this thing, and I think there's a lot of interesting responses there and reasonable responses, and I think we can all offer theories as to why his market.
A combination of all of those things have been said.
I completely agree. But what's so funny is I can imagine at a previous point in the hype cycle, Lamine Yamal's market is on fire. Why is it on fire? And getting a similar, like, it goes back to the thing of like everything is obvious after it happened kind of thing. So getting a kind of similar thing of like, why is the market so on fire? And people kind of be like, it's this, it's that, it's this, you know. And it's like, it's funny how we struggle to kind of predict things, but we're very, very good at explaining things. I guess that's not a new insight, but it's just interesting to see how everyone's kind of like, well, it's obviously this and this and this and this, but nobody was talking about any of these things. Like I've talked about Lamine Yamal being overprinted before, and people are like, no, he's really good. Like, you know, like he's not a problem. But it's like, well, you know, maybe it is. So anyway, yeah. Do you have any other business before we finish up?
And now, gentlemen, is there any other business?
Dublin Card Show, Atlantic Collectibles, SockCardsUnited.com. Get your boxes, get into your breaks, come to the card show.
I'm breaking on Whatnot on Atlantic Collectibles. Dublin Card Show has sold out of vendor tables. Sock Cards United is available with about 400 SKUs, Jason, up there on the website.
Yeah. So a lot to.
We have supplies as well for Irish people. There's supplies on the website.
Supplies.
Look at this. What am I thinking? Oh, I'll take a few examples here. Look at this. We're only shipping to Ireland at the moment. Sorry, guys, they're heavy. We have some Atlantic Collectibles supplies.
Very nice.
Some sleeves, some top loaders, all sorts of different. This is 180 point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find them if you just type supplies in on Soccer United website. I have region locked the selling of it. But there you go. You can add them to your orders and you'll have a few cheeky supplies. There you go.
Excellent. All right. Well, we'll be back. I should say there is a Casual Fridays tomorrow.
Lovely. Who with? I don't know.
I can tell you, with Scott from Soccer Cards HQ.
No way. That was me.
Yes.
That wasn't Jason hyping it up.
I wasn't hyping myself there. No, Enzo very kindly hyping me there.
I was hyping Scott, in fairness.
So hyping me, I think. So Scott's going to come on and we're gonna have a chat and he's going to tell me the way things
ought to be.
The way things are.
Oh,
yeah.
The way things are.
The way things are and the way things ought to be. Yeah. I look forward to that. And the way things have been as well.
That's right.
So that's good. And we'll see people next week for episode 289. Have a great weekend.